Are you a fan of Godzilla? Are you a fan of King Kong? Are you a fan of Godzilla and Kong coming together in yet another action-packed movie? Well, I just might have to flick for you. So I hope. Hello, podcast listeners and movie pickers. Welcome to the Pic-a-Flic podcast, a show that features a collection of reviews in the film and television categories, and is handpicked by me, your host, the Western Wonder. In this episode, I will be reviewing the latest installment of the Americanized Godzilla Kong film series. I remember when I reviewed the previous entry of the franchise, Godzilla vs. Kong, just like yesterday. Roll flashback. I actually don't remember what happened in Godzilla vs. Kong, other than the fact that Millie Bobby Brown was in it. But let's just call this a shameless plug to check out that review if you haven't already. Can't remember the last time I did one of those. Alright, in the flashback. I'm really hoping that this is a step up from the last one. I mean, it already outgrossed it at the worldwide box office within a month of its release. But then again, that's probably unfair to compare box office grosses when Godzilla vs. Kong came out when the world was still in the midst of coming back from coronavirus. So let's take a look at the latest battle between Komodo Dragon Creature versus Gorilla Beast. P.S. If you haven't seen the movie yet, I'll try to keep this light on the spoilers, but the core moments of the film will likely come up, so just a heads up. So the premise goes a little something like this. After an action-packed battle in the previous film, you get these two mega beasts in their habitual domains. Godzilla is out here standing on monster business with these other colossal monsters, while within the Hollow Earth, King Kong is marking dominance with his new territory, or so he thinks. Everything seems alright until it turns out that it's not. And this is my cue to remind you that, oh yes, there's humans here. So some of the cast from the previous film, including big names such as Alexander Skarsgård and Millie Bobby Brown, return here, and they're basically guides to the creatures as a major disturbance, antagonists, causes the two foes to begrudgingly team up in an all-out battle. So my early verdict of this movie is pretty much this. It's stupid. Very stupid. But it's stupid fun, especially when you aren't in your head stating the obvious. The CGI is very clearly over the top and the dialogue is trite. But let me explain, and I'll start off with the one element that I could have gone without.
The humans.
I mean, God bless them for trying, but the script for this movie had these actors trying to make something out of a whole lot of nothing. But then again, the last film was such a blur that I forgot that Tyree Henry was even in it. And I forgot that he was nearly in it watching this again a couple of times. Out of the leads, I kind of wish that they gave him some more to do personality-wise, but he's seen better roles. However, I will give credit to the child actor who plays female lead Rebecca Hall's adopted daughter, who uses sign language. She brought out some wholesome mother-daughter moments in the movie, even if it is brief. The new characters are kind of just there. Dan Stevens, a character actor who's been in a lot of projects, plays Trapper John M.D., a quirky vet who lends some assistance via fast-paced attempts of exposition and comic relief. The adopted daughter's family tribe, the Iwi tribe, the tribe that was researching gorillas in the Amazon with their brothers before they passed away, are there as a bridge for the creature's subplot of the story and are really used for nothing more, which is a shame considering that their location is some of the most beautiful scenery in the whole film. I mean, I will say, however, that a new side character did get a chuckle out of me for the way he met his fate in the movie. This Scottish pilot that helps the main characters transport to Kong's base in Hollow Earth pretty much gets wiped out the same way that Samuel L. Jackson did in Deep Blue Sea. If you know, you know.
Now you've seen how bad things can get, and how quick they can get that way. Well, they can get a whole lot worse. So we're not going to fight anymore. We're going to pull together, and we're going to find a way to get out of here. First, we're gonna seal off this.
Oh
no! You're a dummy, bitch!
But I can tell you that an element that did work for me, over the top CGI regardless, are all the creatures in here. It is truly King Kong's moment to shine here as he gets the core focus once more, and he's used to an even stronger degree here versus the predecessor. Kong gets some pretty cool fight sequences, especially with the big bad known as the Skar King, who looks like an Ice Age villain from hell while still keeping some of the emotional beats of the film, like dealing with sad gorilla stuff like toothaches, and loneliness. Emphasis on loneliness. Oh, and there's this new cohort, a baby gorilla. Let's call him Kong Jr. I kind of refuse to call him Diddy Kong in the light of other events with another particular Diddy, whose relationship gets off on the wrong foot when KJ bites Big Kong. But in true Kong fashion, he uses KJ as a weapon when some of the Skar King's lackeys come to attack him and proceeds to beat the compassion out of him. And when it's all said and done, they pretty much are each other's ride or die partners in the Hollow Earth. Pretty adorable. And speaking of the Skar King, he was pretty badass, I'm not gonna lie to you. Despite making some moves that make you think, I wouldn't have done that exactly.
You're a dummy.
He had the exaggerated swagger of a true reckless, chaotic villain and made for a credible match for Kong.
The only clique you need to know about is the Harlem Heat and Sister Sherry. See, because what you dealing with here is the brotherhood. It's non-stop from this point on in WCW. We take what we want, and after we take Lex Luger and the Giant, we want the gold, sucker.
King Kong!
We coming for you.
You need to leave!
Meanwhile, Godzilla, well, you know, he's out here taking other beasts' powers, becoming more powerful by the minute, you know, Godzilla stuff. But seeing scenes like this where G takes his power to astronomically major heights only makes me more excited for Godzilla -1. Review coming soon! It was also humorous to see that Godzilla stood on his beef with Kong the millisecond he even saw a piece of his fur in his peripheral vision.
Oh, you motherfuckers. Okay. All right. You think you can do this to me? You motherfuckers will be playing basketball in Pelican Bay when I get finished with you. King Kong ain't got shit on me.
Falcon Punch!
For my final verdict. Man, if this was more human interaction versus creature interactions, this likely would have gotten 2.5 popcorn buckets out of 5 for me. But the final fight sequences, take or leave the CGI bump, is still like 3 out of 5 popcorn buckets for me. Less humans, more creature battles is all I have to say about this. I mean, I get that they are a guide or video game cutscene pilots for what the lore the story has that might take too long to explain visually, but they all come off pretty forgettable when you have some visual set pieces featuring these behemoths of action. I feel like all of this will be a blur when I cover the solo Japanese Godzilla movie soon, and I don't know how much farther they can go with this franchise. I mean, is there another one coming? Hold on, let me search for a second. Okay, so there is a follow-up movie that is in the works, but with a new director next time around. If you didn't know, now you do. Anyways, if you are so desperate to see creature feature matches, then I hesitantly recommend this for you to check out. Otherwise, I'd probably be better off just checking out some of the earlier franchise titles before they started going off the walls. It's kind of bordering Fast and Furious levels now. And that concludes my collection of review-based thoughts on the Godzilla X Kong, or Godzilla and Kong, The New Empire. Coming up next on the Pic-a-Flic podcast, and this should be a fun one, it's a movie that people are saying, hey, that should have gotten a full theatrical release instead of being dumped to a streamer like Netflix. Richard Linklater's Hitman starring Glenn Powell. I'll cover it and find out whether it's worth several popcorn buckets or if it's just another silencer or a facade. Also down the line, reviews are coming for the 2023 version of The Color Purple and previously mentioned Godzilla -1, which just hit Netflix recently as of this episode's release. To stay updated on when these episodes drop, be sure to follow the pod on these 2 social media spots, Instagram or Twitter, via the username @Pic-a-Flic-Pod, that is @PICAFLICPOD. You can also find me on TikTok or Letterboxd under those similar names. As always, thank you all for listening, and I hope you tune into the next episode. Until then, beware of the Mega Godzilla. This is the Western Wonder, and I'm signing out. Peace.
Bye, have a great time.